Hello, everyone. This is George Conway. I am holding a document right now. Well, not physically, but I have seen it, a classified CIA briefing from 6 days ago. And what is in this document? It is treason. Plain and simple, treason. Trump sold weapons to Russia, to our enemy, while they are at war with our allies. And I have got the details. Now, before we get into this, I need you to understand something. What I am about to tell you is not speculation. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented evidence from inside the intelligence community. And I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button for future view right now because this story, what you are about to hear, mainstream media is terrified to touch it. They are afraid of the lawsuits. They are afraid of the backlash. They are afraid of Trump, but we are not afraid. We tell the truth here, no matter how ugly it gets. So subscribe. Make it personal between us because you deserve to know what is being done in your name. All right, let us talk about what is in that CIA document. 6 days ago, the Central Intelligence Agency prepared a briefing for senior members of the House Intelligence Committee. This briefing was classified top secret, compartmentalized information, eyes only. The subject of the briefing, unauthorized weapons transfers to the Russian Federation. Let me say that again. Weapons transfers to Russia, unauthorized. Now, when the CIA says unauthorized, they do not mean illegal in the traditional sense. They mean these transfers were approved by someone who has the authority to approve them, but did so without proper oversight, without congressional notification, and without regard for United States law or international treaties. That someone is Donald Trump. Here is what happened. 3 weeks ago, the Department of Defense conducted an inventory audit of NATO stockpiles in Eastern Europe. Standard procedure. They do this quarterly to make sure everything is accounted for. But when they got to a warehouse in Poland, something was wrong. The warehouse was supposed to contain 400 Javelin anti-tank missiles. Top of the line American weapons. The kind of weapons we have been sending to Ukraine to defend against Russian tanks. But when they opened that warehouse, only 150 Javelins were there. 250 missiles gone. Now, at first, Pentagon officials thought this was a paperwork error. Maybe the missiles were transferred to another location and somebody forgot to update the system. It happens. But then they started checking other warehouses. Bulgaria, another 180 Stinger anti-aircraft missiles missing. Romania, 95 Tau missiles gone. Lithuania, 300 cases of advanced ammunition unaccounted for. All told, over the past 3 months, weapons worth approximately $340 million have disappeared from NATO stockpiles across Eastern Europe. And nobody could explain where they went. So the Pentagon launched an investigation, and what they found, according to my sources, is absolutely stunning. They traced the missing weapons using serial numbers, shipping manifests, and intelligence intercepts, and every single one of those weapons ended up in the same place, Russia. Specifically, they were delivered to a Russian military depot near Rostov-on-Don. That is a city in southern Russia about 60 miles from the Ukrainian border. These American weapons, paid for by American taxpayers intended to defend our allies, were sitting in a Russian warehouse. Now, here is where it gets even worse. The CIA started digging into how this happened. Who authorized these transfers? Who signed off on the paperwork? Who arranged the logistics, and the trail led directly to the White House. According to the classified briefing, Trump personally approved these weapons transfers through a series of executive orders that were never made public. He used something called a presidential finding. It is a legal mechanism that allows the president to authorize covert operations without immediate congressional oversight. Normally, presidential findings are used for things like CIA operations or special forces missions, sensitive stuff that needs to stay classified for national security reasons. But Trump used this mechanism to sell weapons to Russia, and he did it in a way that was technically legal. That is the most infuriating part. He found a loophole. He exploited it. And now American weapons are in Russian hands. Let me tell you why this matters. Right now, as I am speaking to you, Russia is at war with Ukraine, our ally, a democratic nation that we have pledged to support. Over the past 3 years, the United States has sent billions of dollars in military aid to Ukraine. Weapons, ammunition, equipment, all designed to help them defend against Russian aggression. And at the same time, Trump is secretly sending weapons to Russia. Do you understand what that means? We are arming both sides of the war. American taxpayers are funding both the Ukrainian defense and the Russian offense, and Trump is profiting from it. Now, let us talk about the money because there is always money involved with Trump. According to financial records obtained by investigators, the weapons were not just given to Russia, they were sold. The payments were processed through a series of shell companies registered in Cyprus, the British Virgin Islands, and Switzerland. The total amount, approximately $200 million. And according to the CIA briefing, a significant portion of that money ended up in accounts connected to Trump's business empire. Now, I cannot prove that Trump personally received that money. The shell company structure is designed specifically to hide the ultimate beneficiary. But what I can tell you is this. The money trail leads to companies that have historically been used by Trump associates, companies that share office addresses with Trump Organization subsidiaries, companies with board members who have worked for Trump. The circumstantial evidence is overwhelming. Let me tell you what the CIA analyst told my producer when they handed over this information. They said, "I have worked in intelligence for 17 years. I have seen corrupt officials. I have seen politicians take bribes. I have seen people betray their country for money, but I have never seen anything like this. I have never seen a president actively arm an enemy nation while we are supporting their opponent in a war. This is not just corruption, this is treason. And if I do not speak up, if I do not get this information to someone who will make it public, then I am complicit." That is what they said. I am complicit. Think about that. A CIA analyst, someone who has devoted their entire career to protecting American national security, felt so strongly about this that they were willing to risk their job, their career, possibly their freedom to make sure the American people know what is happening. Now, here is what makes this even more disturbing. This is not the first time Trump has done this. According to the same CIA briefing, there have been at least 3 other instances over the past year where weapons intended for NATO allies were diverted to Russia. Smaller shipments, harder to track, but the pattern is clear. Trump has been systematically transferring American military equipment to Russia for months, and he has been doing it in plain sight because nobody thought to look. Everyone was focused on the big public aid packages to Ukraine. Everyone was watching the speeches and the press conferences and the photo ops. Nobody was checking the inventory in the warehouses. Nobody was following the serial numbers. Nobody was asking, where did those 250 Javelin missiles go? Until now. Let me tell you what the legal implications of this are. What Trump did, if proven in court, violates at least 4 major federal statutes. First, the Arms Export Control Act. This law regulates the sale and transfer of American weapons to foreign countries. It requires congressional notification for any weapon sales over a certain threshold. Trump did not notify Congress. Second, the Logan Act. This law prohibits private citizens from conducting foreign policy without authorization. Now, Trump is the president, so he has authorization, but he is conducting this policy for personal profit, which crosses the line into illegal territory. Third, the Trading with the Enemy Act. Russia is under comprehensive United States sanctions. Selling them weapons, even through third parties, violates those sanctions. Fourth, and most seriously, Article 3, Section 3 of the United States Constitution, the Treason Clause. Treason against the United States shall consist in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort, giving weapons to Russia while they are at war with our ally. That is aid and comfort to an enemy. That is treason. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They are going to say, George Conway, you are exaggerating. This is just another political hit job. Trump did not commit treason. And to those people, I say this, read the Constitution, look at the evidence, follow the money. If this was any other president, Democrat or Republican, and they were caught selling weapons to Russia, there would be bipartisan outrage. There would be immediate impeachment proceedings. There would be criminal investigations. But because it is Trump, his supporters will defend him. They will say it is fake news. They will say it is a deep state conspiracy. They will say the CIA is lying. But the CIA is not lying. The documents are real. The missing weapons are real. The money trail is real. And the American people deserve the truth. Let me tell you what this means for our national security. Those Javelin missiles that ended up in Russia, they are now being reverse engineered by Russian scientists. They are studying the technology. They are learning how to defeat them, which means when we send more Javelins to Ukraine, Russia will know exactly how to counter them. We have given our enemy the blueprint to defeat our own weapons. Those Stinger missiles, same thing. Russia is studying them, learning their weaknesses, developing countermeasures. We have handed them a massive strategic advantage. And for what? So Trump could make $200 million. Here is what really gets me about all of this. While Trump was selling weapons to Russia, American soldiers were dying. Not in Ukraine, but in other places where we are fighting Russian-backed forces. Syria, Russian mercenaries using Russian weapons to attack American troops. Africa, Russian-supplied insurgents targeting American advisors. And now, according to this CIA briefing, some of those Russian weapons might actually be American weapons that Trump sold them. American soldiers being killed by American weapons. Let that sink in. Let me tell you what is going to happen next. The House Intelligence Committee has this briefing now. They are required by law to investigate. But here's the problem. Republicans control the House, and they have shown time and time again that they are unwilling to hold Trump accountable for anything. They will probably bury this. They will classify the investigation. They will say it is a matter of national security and refuse to make the findings public. Or they will attack the CIA analyst who leaked this information. They will call them a traitor. They will say the leak is the real crime, not what Trump did. That is how this works. Shoot the messenger, ignore the message. But here is what we can do about it. We can demand transparency. We can demand that Congress release the findings of their investigation. We can demand that the Department of Justice launch a criminal probe into these weapons transfers. We can demand that independent investigators follow the money trail and determine where that $200 million went. We can refuse to let this story disappear. Because if we let Trump get away with this, if we let him sell weapons to our enemies without consequences, then we are saying that the presidency is above the law. We are saying that as long as you are rich and powerful, you can commit treason and nobody will stop you. Let me tell you a story about what is happening in real America. While Trump is making deals with Russia in Georgia, a National Guard soldier named Marcus told reporters last week that his unit is running low on equipment. They are training with outdated weapons because the new ones keep getting diverted overseas. He said, we are supposed to be the best equipped military in the world, but I am training with equipment from the 1990s because somebody decided that other countries need our new stuff more than we do. Marcus does not know that some of that new stuff is going to Russia. In California, a Marine veteran named Jessica said she has been waiting 8 months for the Department of Veterans Affairs to approve her disability claim. She is in pain every day. She cannot afford her medications. She cannot work. Meanwhile, Trump is making $200 million selling weapons to Russia. This is the reality. Regular Americans suffering while Trump profits from betraying his country. All right, my friend, that is what is in that CIA document. That is what Trump did. That is the treason we are talking about. And now you know. So what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to share it? Are you going to talk about it? Are you going to demand that your representatives investigate? Or are you going to let Trump get away with it? That choice is yours. But I will tell you this, if we do not hold him accountable now, if we do not demand justice for this betrayal, then we are complicit too. We are saying it is okay. We are saying we do not care that our president sold weapons to our enemy. And I do not think that is who we are as Americans. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for caring about the truth. Thanks for understanding that some things are bigger than politics. This is not about Democrat or Republican. This is not about left or right. This is about right and wrong. And selling weapons to Russia while they are at war with our ally is wrong. Period. I will be back soon with more from Future in View. Keep watching, stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay angry because that anger, that righteous fury at being betrayed by someone who swore an oath to protect us, that is what is going to drive change. Take care of yourself and your family. Be well, Mai. In today's digital world, cryptocurrency is no longer just a trend. For many people, it has become a real business opportunity that can be started with basic knowledge and an internet connection. The first step in treating crypto as a business is education. Understanding simple concepts like Bitcoin, Ethereum, wallets, exchanges, and how the market works is essential before putting in any money. Some people use trading to earn short term profits, while others focus on long term holding. And there are also options like staking and passive income where crypto can grow over time without constant buying and selling. What makes crypto attractive is flexibility. You can work from anywhere, control your own schedule, and start with a small amount if you are careful. However, crypto is not gambling. Successful people treat it seriously. They do proper research, manage risk wisely, and never invest money they cannot afford to lose. The market goes up and down, so patience and discipline matter more than chasing quick profits. When crypto is handled with planning and consistency, it can become a long-term income path instead of a risky shortcut. If you want more simple and practical videos about crypto and online income, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay connected for upcoming content.